The new tactics started to look good. Quality win over AC Milan, and then in the next match we win 4-1 and our 16-year-old scores again. That earned him a start in the next match, and he laid on an assist for Yaya. And then not long after that he scored this absolute howitzer. So the good run had continued. Ever since we made those slight tweaks and pushed them boys out wide, we have been on fire. And we must be doing something right because Palmero came in offering us a job. Might not sound a big deal, but they are in Serie A at the minute. But not for us, we've got a job to do at Vercelli. It was getting late in the season and it's that time for the intake of youth players. I wasn't expecting much, but there was one player who stood out like a sore thumb. This is Stefano Socci. My question to you is, what would you do with him? Bear in mind he's 6'4". Straight away I see forward. Finishing and composure can be worked on, but his physicals are already fantastic. So what a time we have had since we switched to this formation. We only used it for one game last time I saw you, but I've used it every match since. We've shot up to 5th in the league with about 3 or 4 games left. And this is important because home advantage comes into play in the playoffs. And also they've got that funky rule in Italy where if you draw against a team lower down than you, you go through as a higher seed. So to get this working well, Luati's role has completely changed. Instead of breaking forward as a Seconde Volante like we had him in the other tactic, he's now a deep line playmaker and just pinging balls around, allowing all the other boys to do the running, such as the wing backs and the wider players, meaning that the 3 centre backs have got a double shield now in front of them. And chosen one, Ruti Giuliano, has now turned into a sole striker. And that's interesting because if you look at his goal tally, currently sat on 24. He's on the verge of breaking a record for Pro Vercelli for goals in a season that has stood since 1912. The good run continued and I was giving Moretti more and more playing time. The only downer was Lotti. Our right back went down with a really bad injury. He's going to miss the rest of the season. He's out for 5 months. That was a further blow against our rivals from last year's playoff, Azignano. With Lotti injured and his backup injured as well, I had no one to play right wing back, and they did this. They scored in the 86th, 91st and 93rd minute to turn the game around and beat us 4-5. As much as that hurt, it couldn't stop our good run, and we stormed into the playoffs as the form team. But don't forget, there's a long way to go. We've got so many matches to get through, including some 2-leg games. We're about to attack these playoffs and we're going to use this formation because it has ripped it up since we started using it. But you'll notice at right back we have an unfaced man because I've got both my right backs injured and he's the only man who can play there, and he's thoroughly average. We desperately need one of the boys to get back fit. But as a season, how have the chosen ones done this year? Well, we know about Rizzo. He is off back to his parent club at the end of this season, so we've got a big decision to make. The rest of them, Kalina has been tracked by teams all season. They've just dropped their interest now. He's only 18. I think we sometimes forget that. He's in his 2nd season. He's already played 69 games for us. Di Marino is just super solid. He's the most unspectacular of the chosen one players, but he never lets us down. And Luati, who has now been rechristened Yaya Luati, he's had his best season yet. He's really enjoyed going back to a deep line playmaker with 8 goals and 6 assists. Big change for Condello. He used to be the main man up front, but now he's shifted out to that right hand side as an inside forward. It's taken a little while to get used to it. He's a little bit inconsistent, but I think he'll be alright. But Ruti Giuliano has proper stepped up. This is his favourite position and he's really blossomed being a sole striker. Now you might have noticed I have brought some trait training in for a few of the chosen one players now as well. I'm asking Kalina to mark opponent tightly. He learned that pretty fast. Condello has learned likes to try to beat the offside trap, and Yaya, he's currently learning tries killer balls often, which with his new role will suit him perfectly. And as for Ruti Giuliano, I'm not sure what trait to train him on yet. Any thoughts? While I did this, I thought I might as well give some of the youth players with promise some trait training as well. So Di Enrico, who looks like a really promising winger, he's starting to learn runs with ball often, which makes sense when you look at his dribbling and acceleration. And then I thought, how about Elton Sulaj, the Albanian midfielder? But the kid's already got 3 player traits that are really good already. He's going to be a diamond. So the dreaded playoffs began and we started really well. A couple of thumping goals in this one got us through the first round pretty comfortably. Which meant in the next round we had Trikestina, who finished just 1 place below us in our league. And in an absolute nothing match, finishing above them in the league proved vital as we went through as the higher ranked seed.
What?
Next up we played a team from a different section. It was Juve Stabia. First game at home, it's an absolute disaster as Yaya turns it into his own net. We were pretty poor in this one and lost 1-0. But don't fret folks, we're not out. It's 2 legs in this one, and in the second leg we started really well. That was a boomer from Guerrero. Condello then did this. A stunning away performance got us through 3-1 on aggregate. Into the quarterfinals next, and there's some big teams still in this. Now the competition was getting a bit spicy, but we're like a different team now. We win the first leg of the quarterfinal 4-1, and you know what? We absolutely cruise the second leg and go through 6-1 on aggregate. Team chemistry is through the roof, and 16-year-old Moretti has started the last 5 matches. And against Pescara in the semis, he was the man who gave us an early lead. They had no answer for us, and we absolutely battered them. A stunning first leg performance. In the second leg, away from home, we went with a defensive mentality, and we locked it down pretty comfortably, getting a 1-1 for a 1-5 aggregate. And that massive journey means that we have got ourselves into the playoff final, and we will face old rivals AC Milan B. What I'm intrigued about here is, we are now in the 8th of June, if you can see up there. Will they bring in some big guns? Are they even allowed to do that? I don't even know. But if you go into the data hub and check out our previous meetings, we beat them twice this season, 2-0. Signs are good. The only thing eating away at me a little bit is when we did play them and beat them, we were using the narrow formation because they play a 4-4-2. So do we go back to that? But that would mean a big change from this massive run we've been on, playing like that. One thing's for sure though, Moretti does start the match. You can see there, he's 16, right? But his last 5 matches, he's scored 2 times. He's flying. Add that to the fact we don't really have a player who's natural playing there other than Ruti Galeano, but we need him to stay up front. So at the minute, he's the man, which makes me think, as far as the chosen ones go for next season, he's slightly ahead of Pelagata, who was the other main candidate, although his attributes are shining. So this was it. It was us versus AC Milan B team to see who can get into Serie B.